everyone! Good morning, good morning! Welcome back to my channel. We are flying today and our friend is driving us to the airport. It's more or less a 20-minute drive, and with a day this glorious, she'll have trouble going back to sleep, but that's the catch of doing a night shift, I guess. We are also going to get some beauty sleep later, as we are going to be airborne for a good 18 hours on board 3 different aircrafts. Today I'll be sharing with you 16 things we do to survive long-haul flights so it will literally just fly by. As soon as I arrive at my allocated seat and stow my carry-on luggage, I would immediately give the seat, its armrest, all the buttons, touchscreen, tray table, and even the seat belts a once-over using my antibacterial wipes. I'd like to believe that airlines make sure every single surface has been cleaned and disinfected in between flights, but I wouldn't count on it. You never know who sat there before you, so it's best not to take any chances. Next, while waiting for other passengers to take their seats next to us, I'll make use of the time to start charging my power bank and phone so I can disconnect them right before I go to sleep. That way, they won't get overcharged. And then, when everyone else is seated, we always fasten our seatbelt and only remove it when we go to the loo or to stretch our legs. But it's also pretty filthy, so I made sure to give it a wipe and also to load ourselves with hand sanitizer every after touching it. But really, it's best to minimize the contact. We also enjoy listening and watching the safety instructions video and the actual one from Air New Zealand. The rumors are true. For me, they do have the coolest safety instructions video. I recorded clips of it for you as a sample. I only hope that I won't get into trouble for this. However, accents can sometimes be a problem, especially since English isn't our first and not even our second language. There's a written instruction often placed on a pocket at the seat in front, which is really useful for passengers like us. During takeoff and also landing, we like to share a moment of peace and offer a prayer to the powers that be for looking after things beyond our control. Then we'll let the view outside the window simply take our breath away. It's not wise to go to the loo or stand and even sleep during these times. The sudden change of air pressure is faster than our ears can adjust, in turn causing airplane air. Chewing a gum can solve this minor glitch until your ears can adjust to the cabin pressure. That's what we did. For most people, getting some sleep during the flight is a default mode, like being put on autopilot. Personally, I'd rather start adjusting my body to the time zone of my destination. Example, if it's bedtime there, then I'll go ahead and shut my eyes over here with my eye mask in a comfy blanket. I'd like to wash my face and continue with my facial care routine, but I prefer doing that at the airport where there's plenty of room and water supply. Sitting on a window seat is convenient for people who like to stay in one corner for the duration of the whole flight, whether to sleep, read, or just enjoy the view outside. This is practical for short flights, I get that. It's best to snap a photo of the side below if you're seated in here. A thing I sadly don't do anymore as I've gotten used to it by now. But if you're a person who loves your bathroom runs and short stretches, it's not practical as you would end up disturbing the passenger next to you if you're seated at the window. You can always ask during check-in to put you on an aisle seat. On our connecting flight, the seats available for us were the middle two, but after the takeoff and when the seatbelt sign had been switched off, we asked our flight attendant for any available aisle seat and they happily obliged, offering other people better seat just to accommodate us, which was really rather nice. Thank you, Air New Zealand. A good number of people who often fly is on business trip, although I'm not on business trip this time, I was purely on holiday. A long flight is a good time to get productive and catch up on work, or alternatively, plan and organize your trip. While every traveler is different, personally, I feel that time flies faster when I can finish a task. I like to write my scripts without distraction, and being up in the air seems like a perfect place that comes with a view. I love reading, and long flights are the perfect time to read a book that you can't put down. I know having an ebook reader like Kindle or Kobo meant carrying your entire library with you without the added weight and space. Instead of carrying my favorite paperback or hardbound, I've pre downloaded some podcasts and audiobooks plus my favorite playlist to listen to instead onto my iPod. This way, I can give my eyes a rest. A lot of people bring their own noise canceling headphones. We are probably one of the few who don't because we love the noise. Believe it or not, we love to know what's going on around us. I tend to get suspicious when it's too quiet, so I'd rather use my simple iPhone earpods.
Tonight, if not, they'll view some of our fantastic TV programs and movies. As we have approximately 2.5 hours to run to reach Hong Kong.
Most good long-haul flight airline companies offer an excellent selection of in-flight entertainment for movies and TV series and concerts. Just browsing the entire list already take up a few minutes of distraction, and once you've selected, that would offer another good 2 to 3 hours of diversion or longer if you want to binge watch on a TV series like Friends. In fact, that's one of the things I look forward to on international flights. I can't even. We do have our laptops loaded with the movies that we haven't watched yet in case we've already seen the ones or didn't want to watch any from the movie selection. But once you've selected your choice, you can recline the seats, sit back and enjoy the movie and the flight.
This morning we have a choice of 2 meals. The first is a hot breakfast.
I eat whenever meals are served. You can opt out if you don't want to be disturbed, but it's best to eat as much as you can, especially on a long haul flight. We also ask our flight attendant for snacks in between meals like noodles and biscuits and whatnots. But I always go for healthier options like fruits, probably a banana or an apple. We also try to drink plenty of fluids. The cabin air is quite dry like the desert, literally, and we also lose water whenever we breathe out in high altitudes. But since I have trust issues with in-flight water, I prefer if they serve it in bottles. Otherwise, I'll go for juices or drink from my bottles that are refilled at the airport. Although we bring our own tea bag, as you've seen from my last video, we decline offers of cups of teas and coffees for the same reason. I have trust issues with the water, and we also avoid any freezy drinks or booze. Alright, using the airplane potty is my least favorite activity, and I try to space my visits every 2 to 3 hours. It's simply the most uncomfortable place I can ever be on a plane. Hashtag drama queen. These toilet seat paper covers are quite handy, so I can sit like a queen while doing my business. They say that low air pressure in the cabin, lack of movement, and constant sitting can affect our circulation and might predispose us to clot formation, especially on the legs, even though we're not that old yet. To avoid that, it's recommended that we move around and stretch every 2 hours, like what I'm attempting to do here. When I walk to and fro though, I make sure to wear my shoes. I saw some people walking barefoot, but I won't recommend that, as I'm not sure what lives on those carpets and how often they've been washed and cleaned. But if you're seated on the window or middle seat, that can be a little tricky. That's why we prefer the aisle or exit seats. You can still move your legs while you're in there and your feet as well, and give them a shake or a stretch, and when you sleep, try to change positions, body twisting as often as you can without disturbing the passenger next to you, okay? Some huge airlines like Cathay Pacific, for instance, offer in-flight shopping where you can buy duty-free products using your Marco Polo card, cash, or even Visa or MasterCards. You choose from their product brochure and then ask one of the flight attendants to assist you. I would suggest choosing and paying for the items early on while they're still in stock, but ask for the items be given to you an hour or two before you land so that they can store and keep the items safe for you. Works better than insurance. Just before landing, I'll do a quick retouch and double check that I've got everything back in my purse. And my seat tidy, of course. Being able to freshen up and knowing I got everything is rather calming for me. Riol and I love our chats, and at this point we also usually go over our schedule and plans again. And that's how we survive our long-haul flights that we usually endure at least twice a year. The key is to enjoy and consider every moment, even the minor glitches, as part of our holiday. Thank you once again for coming along with us. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you on the next video. Ta-ta.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you for placing your hand luggage in the overhead locker.